Electric Department, whom I will refer to as Holyoke Gas, to construct a new 70,000 gallon liquefied natural gas storage tank. Liquefied natural gas is also referred to as LNG. I will describe the project in detail in a minute. My name is Robert Shea. I am the presiding officer in this proceeding, and I am conducting the remote public comment hearing tonight. As you can see on your Zoom video stream, there are other people with me from the siting board who will be involved in the review of this project. They are Andrew Green, the director of the siting division, Joan Foster Evans, the general counsel of the siting division, Wayne Wong, the assistant director of the siting division, and Nathaniel Strasberg, an energy facility siting analyst. Council and company representatives for Holyoke Gas are also participating remotely on this Zoom public comment hearing. Using Zoom, the public will have a full opportunity to see and hear everything said during this hearing and to offer comments and ask questions. For those of you accessing the meeting by phone dial-in, you too can hear everything and have an opportunity to comment or ask questions. The instructions on how to participate were provided in the public comment hearing notice that was published in the newspapers and in the notices sent to the addresses near the project. The public comment hearing notice was also posted on the Holyoke Gas website. In addition, all information contained in the notice, including instructions for participation, is available on the website for the siting board under EFSB siting calendar and today's date. Furthermore, the entire petition is available on the siting board's website under the name Holyoke Gas and Electric LNG project. I will now briefly describe the nature of the filings made by Holyoke Gas related to its proposed project and the legal standards that govern the siting board's project review. Next, I will allow the company to make a presentation regarding the project. After that presentation, I will open the floor to comments and questions from members of the public who wish to offer oral comments tonight. Please note that we will also review any written comments submitted by the public by email through Wednesday, April 12th, 2023. Wednesday, April 12th, 2023. Let me take a moment to describe the project. Holyoke Gas proposes to construct a new 70,000 gallon liquefied natural gas storage tank at its existing West Holyoke LNG storage facility located off Mueller Road in Holyoke. The existing facility was originally constructed in 1971. It now contains 4 LNG storage tanks. The project would add a 5th LNG storage tank. Holyoke Gas would also construct the necessary interconnections to the existing facility. Holyoke Gas would also upgrade some of the equipment at the existing facility. Please see the notice for a full description of the proposed project. Holyoke Gas filed a petition with the siting board under Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 164, Section 69J. Under this statute, the siting board will review the company's filing to determine whether the proposed project would provide a reliable energy supply for the Commonwealth with a minimum impact on the environment at the lowest possible cost. There are multiple ways that the public can participate in the siting board's review of the project. The first is to provide oral comments at the remote public comment hearing tonight. As I've stated before, you may also file written comments. In addition, you may choose to seek participation as an intervener or as a limited participant. The deadline for requesting participation as an intervener or as a limited participant is Wednesday, April 12th, 2023. This date is also the deadline to provide written comments as outlined in the notice of public comment hearing. We would encourage anyone who does seek to participate to review the material published on the siting board website, which outline the different ways in which you can participate in our proceedings. For example, you may participate as a full intervener. A full intervener has rights to ask discovery questions of the company, to present witnesses, to ask questions of witnesses testifying at the hearings, to file briefs and motions, and to appeal the decision of the citing board. In the alternative, you may participate as a limited participant. A limited participant can receive filings made in this proceeding and may file briefs with the citing board. A limited participant does not have the right to appeal the decision. The information on participation is also in the public comment hearing notice for this proceeding. If you would like a copy of the notice and the intervention rules, please send your contact information to my email at robert.j as in James, .shea, S-H-E-A, at mass, M-A-S-S, .gov, G-O-V. And I can send the information to you by email. May I now have the appearances of counsel, please? Mr. Avery, you're muted. I can't hear you. No one can hear you.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I just figured that out. Thank you, Mr. Shea. My name is James Avery of the law firm of Pierce Atwood in Boston, appearing tonight on behalf of Holyoke Gas.
Thank you, Mr. Avery. I would note that Holyoke Gas has provided a certification that the notice for this public comment hearing has been provided consistent with the terms required by the citing board. Would Holyoke Gas like to begin its presentation regarding the proposed project? After that presentation, we will open the floor for comments and questions from the public.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Officer. I would like to introduce James Lavelle, who's the general manager of Holyoke Gas and Electric, who will initiate the proceeding and also introduce other members of the team working on this project on behalf of Holyoke Gas this evening.
Thank you, Jim, and good evening, everyone. I'd first like to thank the citing board members and all the participants and attendees for their participation in this hearing on this important reliability project tonight. I'd particularly like to acknowledge the elected and public officials who are participating this evening, including Holyoke Mayor Joshua Garcia, City Council President Todd McGee, City Councilor Kevin Jourdain, our State Representative Pat Duffy, Aaron Vega, Director of the Office of Planning and Economic Development for the city. I'd also like to introduce our project team. We have here with us Brian Roy, our gas superintendent. Kate Craven is our Director of Marketing and Communications. We also have external members of our team who are experts in developing projects of this type. We have Jim Avery, who you've heard of from Pierce Atwood, Jay Gamble of ALCO Engineering and Technical Services, and we have John Zimmer from Epsilon Associates, an environmental and engineering consulting firm. Now, I'm just going to give a quick overview of Holyoke Gas and Electric, and then I'm going to hand it off to Brian Roy to give some details on their infrastructure and the project specifics. So for those who may not know, Holyoke Gas and Electric is a municipal utility, which means we're owned by the community we serve. Our mission is to provide innovative and sustainable energy services, affordable rates, reliable services, and excellent customer care. We were established in 1902 and we've been in business for over 120 years. HG&E worked with the city of Holyoke to obtain green community designation from the state back in 2010, and sustainability has been a key focus of ours for many years. HG&E's focus on clean energy and carbon reduction began well before there was any mandate to do so, starting in 2001 with our acquisition of the Holyoke Hydroelectric Project from Northeast Utilities. HG&E currently owns and operates over 50 megawatts of hydroelectric power locally. We have approximately 18 megawatts of utility-scale solar operating within the city. We have a growing complement of battery energy storage with 8 megawatts, 16 megawatt hours, and about twice that capacity in our pipeline. We also work closely with partners in higher education, industry, and government to try to identify new technologies that will help us expand our clean energy portfolio. These partners include UMass Amherst, MIT, Rocky Mountain Institute, Pacific Northwest National Labs, and the Massachusetts Clean Energy Center, just to name a few. This approach has been very successful for us as our energy portfolio is well ahead of our peers from a renewable content, and our rates are some of the lowest in the state. As a result of some of those same efforts, HG&E has been recognized by a number of national and regional organizations for our performance in the area of clean energy development, operational safety, and reliability. Most recently, HG&E was named to the 2023 Utility Transformation Leaderboard by the Smart Electric Power Alliance, and we're very proud to be included on that leaderboard with some of the largest and most innovative utilities in the nation. If you'd like more information on those activities and awards, I'd encourage you to visit our Clean Energy Dashboard on the HG&E website. Although we've made great progress towards carbon reduction, we are committed to meeting or exceeding the state's goals, particularly achieving net zero by 2050 or sooner. In 2021, HG&E's electric portfolio was 95% carbon-free, which well exceeded the targets set by the state. But in order to meet the net zero goals, we're going to have to help influence significant shifts towards electrification in the heating and transportation sectors. Electrification is projected to increase electric loads by 2 to 3 times for most utilities. For HG&E, a small utility, this amounts to an estimated cost of well over $150 million for those upgrades. In addition to cost, there are a number of other factors that will make full electrification challenging. Those factors include the availability of clean energy to meet the growing electric demand, the age of customers' heating system and vehicles, and supply chain, all the labor and materials that are going to be required to upgrade the grid in a timely fashion to accommodate electrification. Because of the timeline to full electrification, HG&E will have to continue to safely and reliably provide natural gas to keep its customers warm and safe and at affordable rates for some time. But at the same time, HG&E will be able to work with customers that heat with oil or propane and who are not candidates for electric heating to convert them to cleaner fuels, allowing us to continue to make progress towards net zero along the way. So thank you, and I'll now hand it off to Brian to pick up with some specifics on the project and infrastructure.
Thank you, Jim. And continuing the focus on environment, over the last 30 years, our system has grown 21%, while over that same period, our system-related emissions have decreased 29%. The decrease is a result of continuing efforts to protect the environment, including our aggressive leak survey and repair programs in excess of requirements, our infrastructure replacement programs that provide enhanced system integrity, our system conversions from higher emitting fuels such as oil and propane, and our energy efficiency education and outreach programs that reduce customer consumption and provide energy savings. Also, we remain committed to exploring emerging technologies such as RNG, renewable natural gas, hydrogen, and geothermal, and their ability to further reduce environmental impacts to serve our customer needs in an economical manner. Our system itself consists of approximately 300 miles of installed system pipe to serve our roughly 11,500 customers. Our system is served by the Tennessee Gas Pipeline with the ability to supplement demand with liquefied natural gas, or LNG, from our existing West Holyoke facility, which was installed with 2 tanks originally in 1971. Tanks 3 and 4 were added in 1974 with provisions and approval for a 5th tank, but that tank was not installed. If you look at the image in the lower right corner, you will see the existing facility today with the 4 tanks, and you'll see the foundation footprint for the originally planned 5th tank that was not installed. Our system itself is currently at capacity under peak demand due to reliability concerns. Our existing pipeline capacity only covers 60% of peak demand, so LNG is required to supply the remaining 40% of total peak load. With limited on-site storage from trucked LNG and a single vaporization system, concerns exist regarding the ability to reliably provide service during extended periods of cold weather events. This led to our moratorium institution in 2019. To address the reliability concerns and meet customer energy needs over the next 20+ years, we have developed this non-pipeline solution to incrementally enhance storage at the existing LNG facility, which has been safely operating for over 50 years. The project would see 1 new 70,000-gallon storage tank installed within the existing facility footprint in the footprint originally designated for the planned 5th tank. The tank itself is the component of the project that is subject to EFSB jurisdiction and why we are here tonight. Recognizing the benefit of having contractors on site for this work and to maintain efficiency of operations as well as costs, HG&E would also upgrade the existing vaporization system and associated safety components to provide additional redundancy to further enhance reliability and system safety. The project would result in minimal community impact and allow HG&E to achieve the following objectives. It would address current system concerns over reliability by providing additional available capacity, particularly helpful given current climate concerns over reliability and the potential for more extreme weather events related to the climate. It also modernizes and enhances safety mechanisms. And for perspective, an example of the mechanisms on site, we recently upgraded our facility security cameras. The new cameras are of a higher resolution, which provide greater oversight of the facility for safety and security. The project would help maintain energy affordability compared to the project alternatives, which we will cover in a few slides. The project also provides for the time needed to upgrade this electric system in a systematic and strategic manner to further maintain energy affordability. And while not the determinant factor, the project would allow for the pursuit of targeted economic development in the community, which will increase jobs, raise the tax base, and reduce emissions by displacing the use of higher emitting fuel sources. As part of this process, HG&E evaluated other sites before determining this project was the clearly superior location. With this facility already developed, it is a very low impact option that does not require any approvals beyond the EFSB. It does not impact any rare or endangered species or require any special environmental or zoning permitting or require tree or vegetation clearing, which cannot be said for the alternative sites. Also, this site is not located in an environmental justice population, nor is it located within 1 mile of an environmental justice population as shown in the map below the screen. HG&E also evaluated project alternatives to this project before determining that this solution, including the site complementary work, represented the most cost-effective solution with minimal environmental impact at a cost of just under $8 million to meet energy needs. The alternatives evaluated included both a pipeline project and a new LNG facility. Both projects would result in greater community and environmental impacts, extensive permitting and approval processes, and were both cost prohibitive at a cost of at least $70 million. As previously discussed, electrification was also evaluated. However, HG&E's system is not developed in a manner that can address full system electrification at this time, and sufficient time is needed to perform the upgrades in a strategic and economical manner. Current upgrade cost projections are upwards of $150 million and do not include customer costs. Finally, energy efficiency measures were also considered. Currently, HG&E energy efficiency programs yield approximately 10 to 15 decatherms of savings per peak gas day in total, compared to this project, which would increase on-site storage capacity by approximately 5,000 decatherms. While beneficial to reducing overall annual emissions, the energy efficiency programs provide a negligible impact to the peak day use and are not sufficient to address the reliability concerns or project needs. In order to ensure the community is engaged and informed, HG&E developed a communication strategy that includes messaging, timeline, and action items. And even though this project is greater than 1 mile away from a state-designated environmental justice population, HG&E remains committed to providing access to content throughout our community. Communications related to this project have been offered in multiple languages, including English and Spanish. The community engagement efforts began last summer well ahead of the EFSB petition filing and have continued throughout this process. These efforts include key stakeholder and public official communication efforts, a neighborhood door-to-door canvassing effort, presentation to our city council, after which the council issued a resolution in full support of this project, a community meeting held in an environmental justice neighborhood, as well as a press release issued in October and project information shared in our monthly newsletter detailing the project and the reliability benefits it provides. As part of this public hearing process, HG&E continued its communications with public and elected officials, including those not identified in the notice instructions, to update and educate them further on this project's progression. For those on the call who are unfamiliar with the process, tonight's public comment hearing is essentially the start of the EFSB review process. As a municipal utility, HG&E has strong established relationships with key stakeholders throughout the community, and we are interested in hearing comments and suggestions on this project and look forward to open dialogue throughout the process. And with that, I would like to say thank you to the members of the EFSB, the elected and public officials, the public, and all other attendees for the opportunity to present information tonight on this reliability project. We appreciate the Siting Board holding this hearing and providing our neighbors this opportunity to participate, and we thank you for your attention and courtesy. With that, I would like to turn it back over to our counsel, James Avery.
Thank you, Mr. Shea. That completes the company's presentation for this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Avery. Before we begin the public comment hearing, the public comment section of tonight's hearing, I'm going to outline some guidelines to use in speaking at this hearing. There is a stenographer who is also participating remotely. The stenographer will transcribe everything said during this hearing. This remote public comment hearing is also streaming to the Siting Board's YouTube channel. It is only the transcript produced by the stenographer, however, that is the official record of this hearing. As we are all relying on the internet or telephones to participate, we could experience some technical difficulties, such as sound from speakers, including potential background noise, video and audio issues, and potential delays. Therefore, it is important to speak slowly and clearly, to allow a speaker to finish speaking before you begin speaking, and to pay attention to the video of the person speaking and to my video. I will raise my hand as a signal on my video if I need to interrupt the person currently speaking and ask them to stop. We appreciate everyone's cooperation in participating at this hearing. I apologize in advance for any technical difficulties that we may encounter through the course of this remote public comment hearing. If you have problems, please raise your hand using the Zoom toolbar or dial *9 on your phone if you are participating by phone. You may call or text 857-200-0065 for assistance. In the notice, we requested that anyone with an interest in speaking tonight notify the Siting Board in advance if possible. This is a great help due to the mechanics of the remote platform. We begin with those federal, state, and local officials who wish to be heard. We will then proceed with members of the public who have signed up to speak in the order that they have signed up. Finally, we will allow anyone who wishes to speak but did not have a chance to let us know in advance. Please give your name and address and spell your name for the stenographer and speak slowly and clearly. Again, please stop speaking if you see me raise my hand in the video. If a company response to a comment or question asked is appropriate, I will ask the company representatives if they would like to respond. We've had a number of public officials who have signed up to speak, and I'll call on them in the order that they signed up. The first being Mayor Joshua Garcia, Mayor of the City of Holyoke. Mayor Garcia, are you present?
Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
Good evening, Mayor Garcia.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm Mayor Joshua Garcia. I live at 2 Dunn Avenue here in the city of Holyoke. And I'm here to express my support for Holyoke Gas and Electric's proposed LNG infrastructure and resiliency project currently being planned for West Holyoke, out at West Holyoke, which will add 1 LNG storage tank, as you heard from the presentation, within the existing facility footprint. I want folks to know that today, Holyoke, we're at a critical turning point with companies expanding and developers investing and residents moving in and not out. And due to a significant increase in natural gas demand over the past several years with no corresponding increase in infrastructure, the natural gas system in Holyoke is operating at capacity. And the lack of natural gas availability has had a considerable impact on our economic development efforts, as well as our collective sustainability efforts. Currently, what's happening on peak day, the natural gas system demand exceeds capacity, which has caused the HG&E to implement a moratorium on new services in 2019. And since becoming mayor, this issue has been top priority, not just for me, but for all of us representing the city. And I've been working closely with the reps at HG&E to find a practical solution that can adapt over time with the changing needs of the community. Presently, I'm a little concerned that property owners with this moratorium, they're installing new propane and oil heating systems, which are higher emitting fuels when natural gas is not available and an electric alternative is not feasible. The LNG infrastructure resiliency project proposes to add an LNG storage tank to the existing footprint up in West Holyoke. The facility currently has 4 storage tanks, but was originally designed for 5. And by installing this 5th tank within the footprint, HG&E will have the ability to reliably meet consumer energy needs for the next 20 plus years. From an environmental perspective, the project will reduce the carbon impact of the heating sector and provide the necessary time for strategic electrification on the local transmission and distribution system. This project will also have give residents and businesses time to plan and implement electric technologies as the community transitions away from fuels with the highest emissions. In addition to aggressive efficiency and electrification programs, this non-pipeline solution will support Holyoke's energy transition goals and provide us with a bridge to net zero emissions by 2050, which is the goal. I appreciate your attention and support on this matter, and thank you so much again for allowing me the time to speak my support for the project.
Thank you, Mayor Garcia. The next person who signed up to speak was a public official, was Kevin Jourdain, Esquire, the Holyoke City Council, Councilor at Large and Vice Chair of the Finance Committee. Sir.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Shea. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you, yes.
Oh, good. Thank you. A pleasure to be with you. I did want to make a number of comments in support of the Holyoke Gas and Electric's application to the siting board. Thank you for taking this opportunity to listen to myself and the other local elected officials. I think we're absolutely unanimous in our support for this. I would note that the Holyoke City Council passed a resolution of support unanimously in favor of the G&E's efforts to come up with a really long-term solution to our natural gas needs here. And we really appreciate their hard work in this effort, and obviously felt strong enough that I would come out here to make a comment to you. So I do have a prepared remark I would like to share with you, and it's brief. I'd like to affirm my continued support of the Holyoke Gas and Electric's recent petition to the Massachusetts Energy Facility Siting Board for additional storage capacity at the existing West Holyoke liquefied natural gas facility. While the site enhancement is minimal, this non-pipeline solution is critical to the natural gas system's safety and reliability, which has community-wide impact. At present, the HG&E's natural gas portfolio is made up of both firm pipeline capacity from the Tennessee gas pipeline and LNG. On the coldest days of each year, LNG is used to provide approximately 40% of the Holyoke Gas and Electric's natural gas supply to customers. There are a variety of safety and reliability concerns as it relates to the current portfolio, including the Holyoke Gas and Electric's reliance on a single pipeline provider, their inability to expand capacity through regional pipeline providers, as well as potential and predicted increases in peak loads due to severe weather. The proposed project will provide system flexibility by enabling the HG&E to maintain reliable service over modest periods of cold weather where supplemental deliveries of LNG might be unavailable or delayed, ensuring natural gas service is available when customers need it, especially on days with sub-zero temperatures. The HG&E has developed and implemented aggressive and innovative energy efficient opportunities for customers with hopes to significantly reduce consumption and promote electrification. While these efforts have been helpful, the gains have been that have had a minimal impact on peak day usage. I think I speak for the other members of the City Council and certainly for myself when we say that these efforts, that we support the HG&E's continuing commitment to these beneficial efficiency programs, but recognize the continuing need for safe and reliable service as the energy transition moves forward. For these reasons, this reliability project is of utmost importance for our community. I want to thank you each for listening and this opportunity to provide you with my comments. I really hope that you will support this project. It's very important to the people of Holyoke, and thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Councilor. Our next speaker is Patricia Duffy, the representative in the General Court for the City of Holyoke.
Hi there. I think I've joined officially now. Is that?
Yes, you have. You have.
Yes, thank you.
Representative Duffy, yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you for holding this hearing, for the opportunity for public comment, and for giving me the opportunity to speak in support of this LNG project. So I have met with HG&E's leadership, as I do actually on a regular basis. They're great at communicating, and I have toured the facility where the proposed fifth tank will go. And as Holyoke State Representative to Boston, I'm always reminded how fortunate we are here in Holyoke to have a local utility that is so forward-thinking and committed to the state's clean energy targets. They offer largely carbon-free electricity, aggressive and innovative energy efficiency programs, great service, and some of the lowest rates in the Commonwealth. I really want to underscore these details because I know HG&E understands that the use of natural gas is actually going to be important as we transition to a net zero future. They will be using natural gas to bridge significant gaps in technology and costs until we get there. The current constraints on Holyoke's natural gas system are concerning, as other speakers have said, and peak days are becoming increasingly difficult to predict, and that it puts our vulnerable customers at risk on the coldest days of the year. And speaking of those vulnerable customers, the majority of Holyoke's population does live within an environmental justice block group, an EJ group, but this project location, as has been noted, and as you saw on the map, it falls well outside any EJ track. I know that HG&E does a tremendous job on assessing EJ data. And so I have no concerns there. And I also was very impressed by the neighborhood outreach that they did around the current facility, talking with the neighbors about the this proposal. So this LNG facility is an asset to our local utility, and our local utility is a huge asset to this city. The proposed fifth tank is going to provide enhanced safety and reliability for HG&E customers. And as they are my constituents, I strongly urge you to support this. So thank you again for inviting us all and for giving me the opportunity to provide comment.
Thank you, Representative Duffy. The next person who is signed up to speak is Todd McKee, the Holyoke City Council President. Mr. McKee.
Mr. Shea, he was in the attendees before, but now he's not there. I've promoted Mr. Aaron Vega instead.
Okay, so the next person that we'll hear, thank you, Mr. Wan. The next person we'll hear from is Aaron Vega, who is Director of the City of Holyoke Office of Planning and Economic Development. Mr. Vega. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Shea, and to all the review committee members, and to obviously the HG&E team, to my good friend Rep. Duffy and Councilor Jordan. I believe that Council President Todd McGee actually had to go to a city council meeting, so I'm not sure. Hopefully, he'll be able to come back. But I will spare my remarks that were pre-written as they've been covered. I just want to highlight 2 points, and I think they've come across very loud and clear. HG&E, Holyoke Gas and Holyoke Gas and Electric, as we call it here locally, is just a great community partner. I mean, they're not doing anything without the input from their residents and from us in government, as they are owned literally by the stakeholders, the ratepayers of the city of Holyoke. And so everything that they do is with that mindset of making sure that the ratepayers and the people of Holyoke have good service, reliable service, and a clean energy future. And we recognize that natural gas is a bridge, and that we recognize that it's a strong bridge that we need, and this LNG facility is critical. The one other point I want to make from my perspective when it comes to economic development, we are missing out on a number of projects, be it smaller projects like restaurants and breweries that other communities around us are being able to have in their communities, because we can't provide them the simple natural gas that they need. And we can't provide residents the natural gas that they need to expand services in their own homes. And so we understand that the goal of this ultimately is to become much more sufficient and efficient in electrification. But again, I speak of that bridge. And as was noted by the HG&E team, the LNG facility was designed for these 5 tanks, these 5 placements. And so this 5th one is really just coming to fruition to what was originally intended. And the last thing I'll say, coupling that idea that HG&E is a great community partner, the economic impact, and that bridge, I think it's important to note that this is something that none of us take lightly. We understand the issues that other communities are having around natural gas. And I want to echo the mayor's statement in that this is something that was very thoughtful, something that is, again, a way for us to move forward when it comes to economic development, addressing climate changes, and all the other things that HG&E and the team there is just doing so fantastically. One of the best, not just because they're in my municipality, but I was state rep for 8 years prior to this role. HG&E is, again, amongst the top municipally run gas and electric plants in the state of Massachusetts. So we don't take this lightly. We have a vision for the future. And again, this is one more step and one more bridge in achieving that future of energy independence and being much more conducive to the environment. So again, I thank the review committee for taking the time for this. I thank my colleagues for joining the hearing, and hope that you will look on this application favorably. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vega. Thank you very much. I believe we've heard from all the public officials who've signed up to comment. Are there any other public officials available now who would like to comment? Not hearing or seeing anyone. We can open the floor to members of the general public. No one from the general public signed up in advance to speak, so I don't know if there are any members from the general public who want to speak at this public comment hearing. But if there are, and if you've been, if you have access to the Zoom, please indicate your desire to speak now.
Mr. Shea, I've promoted Thomas Paquin to the panel.
Thank you, Mr. Paquin. Thank you for joining us. Mr. Paquin, you're muted.
Yes, sir.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. Just to let you know, I am a direct abutter to the gas and electric facility. I've been a 65-year resident of the city of Holyoke, and I have been in a abutter to gas and electric since 1986 when I built my house out here. I'd just like to say, as a city resident and a abutter, that I have full confidence in Mr. Lavelle, Mr. Roy, and Mrs. Craven in this project. I spent the last 10 years of my career as a fire inspector, and my job was to go out to that facility quite often and checking on safety and security features there, and they're second to none. And I have full confidence in this project, and I recommend support of this project. Thank you, sir.
Mr. Paquin, thank you. I didn't say, we usually ask members of the public to state their name, which you did, and to state their address. Could you give us your address?
Yes, my last name is Paquin, and my address is 540 County Road.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Are there other members of the public who'd like to speak? Mr. Wong, is there anyone who needs to be promoted to a speaker?
Nobody's raising their hand right now.
All right, well, having no further speakers, before we conclude the public commentary this evening, I would like to remind everyone of the opportunity to participate in the Siting Board's review of the project if you so desire. We would encourage anyone who does seek to participate to review the information on different types of participation that is limited in the public comment hearing notice for this proceeding and is also on the Siting Board website. If you would like a copy of the notice and the intervention rules, please send your contact information to my email at robert.j.shea, S-H-E-A, at mass.gov. I will send the information to you by email, but be sure to use the correct email address to get to me, robert.j.shea, S-H-E-A. Any written comments that anyone may wish to file or any petitions to participate further in the evidentiary hearings should be sent to me at my email address, which I just gave to you, robert.j.shea@mass.gov. Comments are due by 5 p.m. on Wednesday, April 12th, 2023, and petitions to participate as an intervener or an interested person are also due by 5 p.m. on Wednesday, April 12th, 2023. In addition, any petitions or comments must be sent by email or email attachment to the counsel for Holyoke Gas, James M. Avery Esquire of the firm of Pierce Atwood LLP. His email address is javery@pierceatwood, which is PIERCEATWOOD.com. If you want a clarification on anything that I have said during this hearing, please email me at robert.j.shea@mass.gov. Unless anyone wants to bring up another issue, I'm going to thank you for your participation in here tonight. But is there anything else that was unaddressed that anyone needs to address or anyone would like to address right now? Not seeing anyone. I think that we are all set. Thank you very much for your participation in the hearing tonight. This will conclude the public comment hearing.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone.